Hello and welcome to That Has United, the one stop for everything Manchester United. I'm going to be talking about Manchester United, possible summer outgoings by June, July. So let's get to everything because it's the new revolution under Ineos and St. Ratcliffe, and we're going to look at selling and releasing lots of players this summer. Let's get straight into everything. First of all, we're going to be talking about players who are out of contract by this summer. Of course, if you're out of contract by this summer, you're definitely going to leave, because if the club wants to keep you, you should have been given a new contract since January. But if you're out of contract, if your contract expires in June and in March you haven't been given a new contract, you're definitely going to leave. And the first player on that list is Raphael Varane. And I feel the problem with Varane is that he's on big wages. He's around 30. How old is he? Varane should be 28 or going to 29, right? He's already old. We're paying him around 250 to 300 pounds every week. The club doesn't have money. We're looking at cutting his wages. It's probably going to be like the Davide of last season. His contract expired. We were either going to keep him with reduced wages, but instead we decided to let him go. So I think that's what Varane is going to be. Probably Varane is going to go on a free and end up going to Saudi Arabia or somewhere else. And we're not going to get any money for him, so he's going for free. Then we have Anthony Martial. Of course, his time at the club has been totally horrible. He hasn't lived up to any expectations. And obviously, I was very happy that it's time for him to leave, even though we should have sold him for some money years back, as Mourinho wanted to do. But the Glazers said, no, don't sell Martial. We want Martial to stay. If not, we would have gotten money on this guy. Instead, he has stayed and he has done nothing for us ever since Mourinho left. So, Martial is out of contract this summer and likely, very, very likely to leave for a free at the end of this season. We have Tom Heaton, of course, our third choice goalkeeper. He's 36, 37 years old. Of course, that's not really going to mean much. But Tom Heaton also is going to leave because he's out of contract by June. We have Brandon Williams, the academic graduate who has never lived up to any expectations. He's out of contract this summer, and he's also going to leave. So those are the players out of contract this summer and are definitely going to leave. I don't see any of them staying. Varane, Anthony Martial, Tom Heaton, and Brandon Williams. Then going to players that are out of contract next year in summer of 2025. We have Aaron Wan-Bissaka, we have Victor Lindelof, we have Facundo Pellistri. In just three players, Aaron Wan-Bissaka is highly likely to leave because he wants to make some money. He wants to sign someone else in the right back position, and we can't have three right backs. And it's very likely that Bissaka is going to leave. I think he accepted the fact that he's no longer really wanted by Ten Hag. You know, Ten Hag has always I was always stick to Dalot, and Dalot has been doing very well. And ever since the World Cup, Bissaka had his chance, he dropped, and since then I haven't seen him. And also he has been injured on and off. So Bissaka is likely to leave this summer. Down to Victor Lindelof. In the centre back position, we're going to get a number of departures. But Victor Lindelof is under 50-50. I think he's probably going to leave, or he might stay. It depends on what happens. But if Varane is leaving, Maguire is likely to leave. Are we going to sell Lindelof too? So maybe Lindelof is going to stay, but he's out of contract next year, and it's time to either give him a new contract or sell him this summer. Also, we have Facundo Pellistri, never been given a chance under Ten Hag. Has gone out on loan. He's doing quite well on loan, but his contract expires next year, and if we're not giving him a contract this year, then he definitely has to go. So I think Ten Hag doesn't really view him as part of his plans, so that's why he's out on loan. And as of now, he hasn't really done much for us to keep an eye on him or try to keep him. So Facundo Pellistri most likely is going to be sold this summer because Ten Hag definitely do not see him as part of his plans. Then to other possible departures, we have Sofiane Amrabat. He's on loan at United. Definitely that loan is not going to be made permanent. He's going to go back to Fiorentina by June. So Amrabat is gone. Then we have Casemiro. Still the same problem with Varane. Casemiro is 30 years old. He's on big wages. We're looking to reduce the size of our squad. We're looking to make money from players. We're looking to cut down the average age of the players. So Varane at 29 or 30 years old is very attractive to be sold. So Casemiro, I'm putting my money on Casemiro being sold. Honestly, I'll put my money on that fact that it's going to be sold. And next on the list is Mason Greenwood. Of course, we know that there's going to be a fresh decision by the Ineos group by the end of the season. But let's see what happens with that. But Mason Greenwood is highly likely to leave the club because there's still going to be protests against him staying, and the club is going to be unsettled if he stays. There's a lot of problem. But if the Ineos group decides to stick to him, I know if he decides to ignore all the shouts and protests against Mason Greenwood, then he might stay. But right now, it's highly likely that he's going to leave, because as of the statement last year, it was, we're going to help him move on in his career. Now he's out on loan. He's doing very well on loan. Other Spanish clubs are interested in him, and clubs around the world are interested in him. So Mason Greenwood, 70-30, 70 he goes, 30 he stays, but I think he will go. And next on the list is Jadon Sancho. We have to find a way to sell Jadon Sancho one way or the other. We have to sell him. He's not part of this. He's of no good. He's a flop. He has no future at the club, especially if Ten Hag is going to be the manager. He has no future at the club. You should look at selling Jadon Sancho, which is going to be very tough, but we still have to do that, and he needs to go. But let's see what happens. But it's going to be a huge tax selling Jadon Sancho. Someone we bought for 25 million pounds. We are going to struggle to even get 40 million pounds for him. I doubt. Maybe 30 million pounds might be the limit we can get for him. But let's see. That's a headache for the Ineos group, not for me. Then next on the list is Donny van de Beek. He has flopped at the club, hasn't done well. Even on loan, he's playing poorly. Probably 5 million. We're going to sell him in the summer and he's going to be gone. But Donny van de Beek, definitely going to leave. And next on the list, Hannibal Mejbri. He's on loan at Sevilla. Went there to disgrace himself and disgrace the club. He has a very poor character, and he went there to comport himself and learn and fight for his chances. He went there to cause trouble, and now the loan has ended poorly. And with the new style we are implementing now, is selling young players for profit and putting like a buyback clause on the contract. So Hannibal is highly likely going to leave. Highly likely. I think he's going to go. I think right now, there's no really space for him in that squad. We have Kobe Mainoo and other players coming in, and Hannibal is not going to be part of that. So, for me, Hannibal is going to be sold. And also, Alvaro Fernandez is on loan at Benfica. There was a buy option for him. I think he's also going to leave too. I don't think there's much plans for him. We had Shaw, Malacia, Reguilon, and we still have to loan out Alvaro Fernandez, then send back back to Tottenham, then had only Shaw. Now Shaw is injured and we have nobody to play as left back. That still bugs my mind, honestly, but this is what it is. But right now, Alvaro Fernandez, I think, is also going to go. Then Anthony also, I think if we get a good offer for him, he's going to go, but he has been a flop at United. So far, so good. His Ten Hag signing, he hasn't done very well. So Anthony likely might go. Also, we have Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay. For these two players, I just think it depends on the offers we get for them. If we get good offers for them, then we're highly likely to sell them. But if we don't, we're going to be happy to keep them. So for me, those are the players that I think are going to leave. Rashford, definitely going to stay. Bruno, going to stay. Who else? There's no other player that has been linked to being sold. Onana, definitely going to stay. So for me, these are the players I think are going to go. Tell me in the comment section below, which players are you tipping to leave Manchester United, or which player would you sell, will you keep, and will you loan for next season at Manchester United?